Hello everyone, welcome to Gora Studies. In my previous video, I already talked about lazy initialization, threads of singleton, double check locking, and also we did some hands-on on this. Okay, so now in this video, I am going to discuss about the remaining three methods. So these are eager initialization, enum singleton, and static block initialization. And also we do some hands-on on these methods. Now coming to the eager initialization. This eager initialization is also called early initialization. Using this method, you can initiate the class at the time of class loading. So the main advantage of this method is its simplicity. But the drawback is that class is always initialized whether it is being used or not. So let's do some hands-on on this and see how it works. Okay, this is my IntelliJ. So let's create one class and give some name like early initialization. Okay, this is the class name. So we already discussed about the steps to make any class as singleton. So what all are those steps? I already write down here. So just copy and paste here so that it will be easy to understand. So the first one, declare a static variable that holds the object of this class. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, the static variable private state static, and the variable type should be the class name because this variable will hold the instance of this class. Okay, first. Second, declare the constructor as private. Let's do. This is the constructor. Okay, make this constructor as private. Right, the second step is also done. Now the third step, create a static factory method and declare as public. So public static, and type should be the class, return type should be class because it will return the instance of this class. Then get instance, it will return instance. Correct. Okay, so all these three steps we covered here now. But for this eager or early initialization, okay, we are not going to you know initialize the instance variable as null. We are going to create the instance here only. So new, then this one. So in this line, okay, in this line, the instance, the object of this class is getting created and it is assigned to this variable. Okay, now another things we need to do, we need to make this variable as final so that the value of this variable, okay, remains unchanged. Okay, so this is basically the declare, basically this is this line we need to do to create the object of early initialization. Okay, now let's try to create objects of this class and let's see if we can able to create multiple objects or every time we are getting the same object. Okay, so for that we have this main class. Okay, so I did this code for the previous video. Okay, so let's copy this one now, the early initialization here. This is early initialization, get instance, fine. Okay, now let me run this program and see the hash code value is same or not for object 1 and object 2. If it is same, then we can say that okay, the class is singleton and every time we are getting the same object. But if the object 1 and object 2's has code is different, then you can say the class, the early initialization .java, this class is not a singleton class. Let's see, okay, so that you can understand. Let me run it. Okay, so let me run the main program here. Okay, now you can see the hash code value for both the objects are same. Okay, starting with 15 and ending with 06. For this also starting with 15 and 06 means both the objects are same. Okay, so we can say this class is now a singleton class. Okay, now coming to the next method. Okay, that is the enum singleton. So what is this? In this method, the singleton is declared as enum rather than a class. Okay, but the disadvantage of this method is that if we need to extend a class, then we cannot use this singleton, enum singleton. Okay, so let's do some hands-on and see how enum singleton is working. Okay, so let's create one enum. So new, here you can see here should be the enum type is not here. Okay, no problem. Okay, here you can see. So give some name like enum implementation. I'm giving name like enum implementation. Okay, and as and selecting the type enum, right? So this is one of the enum. Okay, right. Now we we need to specify the instance variable here, instance variable, and the semicolon need to put. If you need to write something, you need to declare any other method, you can write here. Okay, so now this is my enum, and this instance variable will hold the instance of this enum. Okay, now let me call this class from my main class and create okay some object and see every time we are getting the same object or not. So coming to the main class. Okay, so how we can access the enum implementation class, or how we can create the object. Let's see here. So this is the enum implementation, and then this one dot instance, then you will get the instance. So you can get the object one. So here we can print the hash code of that object one. Now in this we are creating another object. Let's say it's object 2. Okay, and let's print the hash code value of object 1 and object 2. Okay, let me clear that and run my main.java again. So here you can see, okay, so the hash code value for both the object are same. Okay, this object 1 and object 2. So that in that case, okay, we can say, okay, this enum is also a singleton. Okay, so okay, so now it's clear how to implement enum as singleton also. Okay, now coming to the next method, and that is the static block initialization. Okay, so what is that? It is similar to the eager or early initialization, but in that case, okay, in this case basically we are creating the instance of this class inside a static block. So the advantage is that if you want to handle the exception, okay, during instance creation, that can be possible here because we are creating the instance okay inside a static block. Okay, so let's do some hands-on and see how the static block initialization works. So let's create another class and give some name like static block. Static block. This is the class. Okay. So the three we need to do that three steps. Let me copy and paste here. First one, we need to specify static variable, and the type of the variable should be the name of the class, then instance, and we need to specify as null here because we are not going to initialize the object in the line number 12. We will initialize the object inside the static block. Okay, now make the constructor as private. So this is the constructor. Declare this constructor as private. Make it private, right? Now declare the static factory method, and that method should be a public method. So public static, and the return type of this method should be the name of the type of the class, and get instance, because this method will return the instance of this class. Okay, and it will return instance, right? So we covered all these 3 points, but here we are not creating the instance anywhere. Okay, so we are not creating the instance inside this factory method. Okay, we are not creating the instance when we are declaring the static variable, okay, in the line number 12, because we are going to create the instance inside a static block. Okay, so let's see. Take a static block. Okay, and here we can write something like that, and new the static block. Okay, so inside this block, okay, we can create the object of this class, and this object, okay, returns by this, the returned by this factory method get instance. So if you want to handle some exception, so that we can write the try catch here and throw the exception catch, like exception, giving some name, and we need to throw some runtime exception, throw new runtime exception, and give some message that error occurred during the object creation. Okay, occurred during the object creation, and the error, what is the exception that we can specify here, right? Okay, so here you can see inside static block we can create the instance of this class, and also we can handle the exception if there is any exception and all. Okay, now let's see that this class, the static block, this class is giving a, the singleton object or not. Okay, so let me call this class from my main class, and let's see. This is the static block. Copy static block and get instance, even this one, and get instance. Okay, let's see. Run this program and see whether the hash code value for object 1 and object 2 are same or not. Okay, so let me run. Yes, so here you can see the hash code value for object 1 and hash code value for object 2 are same. So we can say that, okay, this class is a singleton class because this class returns always a single object. Okay, so that's it about this static block initialization. So in the next video I'll discuss about the factory design pattern, and that is also a type of creational design pattern. So okay, uh, that's it in this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.